Now, there's growing demand on government by various organizations that the fast depreciation Cedi be addressed. The Ghana Union of Traders Association, Gov't, the Importers and Exporters Association, and the Spare Parts Dealers Association have all served notice of a possible hike in prices of goods and services to make up for the high cost of doing business, particularly the depreciating Cedi, which is currently trading on the interbank market at about 4 Cedi 94 pesos to $1 and sells at 5 cedis. President of Ghana Union of Traders Association, Gov't, Dr. Joseph Obeng, joins me in the studio. We've also been checking with some forest bureaus, and we'll tell you what the frustrations of people, of patrons there are. Let me quickly engage the Ghana Union of Traders Association here. Dr. Obeng, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
How badly is this affecting your members and business?
Yeah, it's a complete loss of capital.
How?
Yeah. If the exchange rate depreciates, and it depreciates fast like this, because normally all over the world there's depreciation one way or the other, but the extent with which it goes.
Because the U.S. economy seems to be doing very well, so then the dollar seems to be doing very well.
And so one time you hear that it's doing well, and another time you say, but when it goes on steadily for a long time, then it becomes a problem. Like we've started talking on this.
So if you say it's a complete loss of capital, can you give us specific examples of your members who have actually experienced this loss?
Yeah, so many of them, but I can't give you the specific instances. But if I give you the general overview, then you understand. Being that 4 months back, the exchange rate was maybe 4.5, and if you want $100,000, you would have taken 450,000 Ghana cedis to buy same. And now, 4 months on, you need the same $100,000. Your goods have come, you finish selling, you have to buy the same this 100,000. Then, if the rate is 4.95, means that you have to go and find 45,000 Ghana cedis. So, if you do not get the 45,000 Ghana cedis, means that you have to go and buy for $90,000. It means that you've lost $10,000 without even traveling.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how it is. Just within a space of 4 months.
So I get the picture, and I believe that our viewers get the picture too.
Yeah.
But then you and your other colleagues have said notice that you're going to pass on this cost to the consumer. How's that fair?
Unfortunately, we have difficulty there. Not because one do not want to do, but I know these things, when they come, it wouldn't come from the association. No association can go and say that go and increase your prices. But the details of the business itself will tell you that if you are incurring losses, you have to add up to your cost so that to recoup it. But the difficulty here is that the market is also so choked that doing that is not even wise.
For you as business operators.
Yes, because you would have overpriced yourself out of the market. Because you know the times are different. Other people might have gotten the rate cheaper, and they have enough stock. Say, are you going to wait? And then there's
still those who even trade on the black market.
Exactly. And so, are you going to wait for those who actually got it cheaper, and then have the stock to finish selling before you sell? No, you won't do that. So you'll be compelled to sell maybe same. But ideally, if cost of doing business increases, you have to increase your price. This one is not anybody.
Quite common sense. It sounds quite common sense. But then it's people like me, people like others who have no hand and who have no idea what happens, who are going to bear the brunt, who are going to suffer. But let me find out from you what it is that people like your organizations, you know, the importers, the exporters, the trade unions association, you know, what are your expectations of what has to be done to solve this problem? I mean, what do you want government to do so that you don't get to put the burden on us?
Yeah, You see, we use the same dollar as the determinant factor of duties. It means that after losing that capital that I was talking about, if you're able to go and bring the goods again, you couldn't even forecast the duty we were going to pay. Now you come and then the duty is high because the rate has gone high. So prediction is zero. Forecasting is zero. You cannot plan. And make business also trumps on planning. If you do not plan, knowing your cost factors, you cannot plan any business. So we had discussed with the finance ministry to peg the dollar for the purposes of the duty.
Okay.
Yeah, for purposes of duty, to peg it either quarterly. Because every week, they will announce the dollar to be used at the port. So every week, depending on the value at that time, it will be used on calculating your duty. Your duty. And so if it is not deliberate and it's not meant for devaluation purposes, and I'm deliberately saying this to give a pinch on government, if it is not, because when the Cedi so depreciates, in time past, they used to say we are devaluing the currency. And when you do that, it shows up your revenue collection. Because if you use the dollar as the determining factor and then the Cedi goes down, it means that you get more in terms of revenue. So
back to the question, what do you want?
And that's why we are saying that this the exchange rate for the purposes of duty, the dollar should be pegged either quarterly or 6 monthly, so that we have the room and space.
If you say it should be pegged, what does it mean? What exactly?
Yeah, it means that it should be fixed.
Fixing it has to be fixed. But in the meantime, whilst we're waiting and it's not being fixed, do you have any specific expectations of certain actions that you want government to take?
That's you talking about solutions and all that. You see, normally we do not think for government. We would have put pressure for government to dissect the problem and find solution to it. But then I think we also have to offer some suggestions and all that. We have hinted government that the cross-border trade of money trading, we do a lot of cross-border transaction of money, and it's getting too much, and it's getting it not in our favor as a country, and it means that people can bring money from Nigeria and buy the forex as if those who save in those banks that are West African, they put the money there, come here and take the cedis and buy this the currency as if it is a commodity. And so we've hinted the security, the government about this. We are also saying that we should do something about the growth of our economy itself. It's tilted towards in favor of the service and the extractive industry.
Isn't that a long-term solution? Are there any short-term?
It's not long-term at all. Okay. It is rather very short-term. Okay. Because where we have our service industry now, that the banks, most of our local banks are folding now, almost about 70% is foreign-based. That's for the service for banking and for communication and all that. These are all foreign-dominated industry, and then they have full 100% repatriation of their waste. We don't have any retention of this, and these are the areas that command. When we go to the extractive industry, we're talking about the gold mining and then the oil mining, and also here is foreign dominated. So the key areas where we could have gotten some money, retain some for the purpose of this, are all foreign dominated. We talk about the foreigners in the retail market, where if you read, you are laughing, I won't say anything without hearing
it's a matter. I'm smiling because it's a matter we've been discussing.
Exactly, and it's very important. You see, last Friday, you read a publication in the Daily Graphic that to suggest that the local importers represent about 10%. It means that the foreigners forms about 90%. So if 90% and most of them are doing this business illegally and all that, if you're able to halt about 70% of these people, is a retention of forex.
So you're basically saying that government should take deliberate steps towards retaining
to have some retention.
Okay, so that people are not just flying away cash.
That's
just
the
taking away.
There should be.
But you've been having meetings, several meetings with authorities, people in authorities. Do you think that this message that your organization has is being put across to them the way it should?
You remember the finance minister visited my office, the Gov't office, and I have the opportunity one-on-one at a lengthy time, and we took our time to explain most of these things.
And are you confident that they are implementing the sort of suggestions?
If you look at the response, the facial response, how serious he was, and then taking notes of it, we believe that they will take it back. For what you are saying, maybe some of them may be a bit of a medium-term solution and all that. But then we have to do something.
Okay. Dr. Obey, I say a very big thanks to you for coming, but do you have a timeline? Your members who are threatening to pass on the cost of doing business to us, is there a timeline? Do you expect government to take certain actions within?
There shouldn't be any timeline. This is not some malicious something. This is a fact of business. You incur costs to doing your business and you pass it on. There's nothing that you should shy away or even give ultimatum. It's a business that you are doing. You are losing something. You pass it on. It's as simple as that. And it's not somebody who is telling somebody to do that. Otherwise, you'll be out of business. But even that, I'm saying that we are even challenged. So sometimes we are looking on when the monies are depleting and waning off our hands.
Which is certainly not good for the economy.
Exactly.
All right.
That's what we are saying.
Thank you so much for coming. I know you have a very tight schedule this afternoon, but you still managed to make it. Dr. Obeng there, he is the president of the Ghana Union Union of Traders Association, Gov't there, and they are threatening, along with their other colleagues, that they may just be passing on, and it's quite, well, from what he's explaining, it's quite common sense that they'll pass on the cost of doing business to you and I, and we need to get government working to make sure that that doesn't happen. Dr. Obeng, thanks for coming once again. Cheers. In the meantime, JoyNews checks at various trading points in Accra show that the value of the cedi to the dollar is hovering around 4 cedi 85 pesos, with some open traders selling the dollar at 5 cedis. Ifwa Evans Chinwe has been visiting some forex bureaus and has come through with this report.
Beneath the economic data, statistics and politics, a section of Ghanaians are feeling the heat of the current cedi depreciation, from the paying of school fees to the importation of goods and services. My visit to some forex bureaus and banks in Accra revealed one has to pay 5 Ghana cedis to get $1. For Hawa, her worry is where to get the next school fees for her child due to the colossal increase. Others also say it has affected the economy, which is making life very difficult for them. Obviously, the ones feeling the brunt of this current situation are the ordinary Ghanaians and businesses.